everybody, and welcome to Geopolitical Trends. I'm so excited to be with you on this November 24th. Yeah, the first day after Thanksgiving. So, for all American viewers here, hope you had a happy and wonderful Thanksgiving along with your families and loved ones. So, excited to be here because of the nature of the topic I'm going to be addressing, which is something we don't hear much about in the Western media. Most of the information that I found is I looked at it from overseas, and given even my recent trip, which I was in certain locations that I happened to be passing through, I kind of asked the questions. And anyway, this is what I'm going to be sharing with you. This one has to do with the fight intensifies between Hezbollah and Israel, and what you need to know about all this. So welcome to all of you. Please type in where you are joining me from, what part of the world. Hello, Jack. Good to see you. As always, Athin Wu. Good to see you. Mega Makan. Good to see you all. But let me, as always, I have to extend my sincere thanks to all channel members, supporters, and I'm going to share something with you guys because we are a community here. And I'm getting some comments about I am alienating the viewers just because I give my thanks to the supporters. I'm at a loss here. I'm a loss for those people to be thinking like that. I've learned something to show gratitude, to show appreciation, to say thank you for the supporters. That doesn't mean I'm alienating all the viewers. That just doesn't make any sense. So, and I am not going to wave away from this because I am going to say thank you to the channel members. The easy solution to all this, guys, is fast forward. If you don't want to listen to this, just fast forward to when I start my analysis about the topic. So, in any event, let's extend our sincere thanks to there are 10 new channel members. And speaking of channel members, remember to join me tomorrow, the members and supporters, for the exclusive Q&A that I will be doing for the members only. So let me give a shout out to the new channels members. And I'm going to start with, because I have the list here in front of me, with Agricola Urbanus. Thank you very much for becoming channel members. Also, next one is Hard Rocker 7373. More Less. Hong Luang. The Truth, Seed Sense, Francis Tango, The Emancipator, and I have a Chinese name here that I looked at the translation. I hope I get it right. Is Huang Ming Kong. I hope I pronounce it correctly. And also, I want to give my thanks and recognize and give a shout out to Rampless01, Horace Lim. And the last person here is Tony Badrawi. Thank you all for becoming a channel members, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I also take the opportunity to say thank you to those who bought me coffee recently. Horace Lim, Mushtaq Ahmed, someone by the email DGOEA. There's no name there. So to all of you, I say thank you for buying me coffee. I truly appreciate it. All right, let's get into our topic here. And I'm going to start with the question for you, like we always do. So the question is this. How significant are Hezbollah attacks on Israel? It's because, again, if we don't hear the information, we would not know the extent to how fierce the fighting is on that part of the southern border between Israel and Lebanon. So, second thing is, if Israel is saying this hypes about its military might and so forth, why didn't they go into Lebanon? Is he scared? Is he concerned? If it has that might, why not? And the third question we need to think about is what's next? Because you can't just think all this is happening in a vacuum. What is the next step? I know today they've reached some sort of a truce. Whether it's going to hold or not, some 24 prisoners have been exchanged. All this to me is nothing but a window dressing. And actually, As an analyst, I see it as a sign for a loss that Israel now is experiencing, because this is not a sign of winning. That's the way I look at it. And when you put this within the context of what's taking place in southern Lebanon, then you start to draw or have a bit different picture about all this. So here's the narrative, just for those who might not know the background, that recently Hezbollah has announced that it's conducted simultaneous attacks on Israeli possessions at the Lebanese border, which was just like recently, a few days ago, and this is what also has been reported. I had to check from different sources to make sure that even from the locals, the residents in southern Lebanon, also confirmed that there are fierce fightings between the two. Of course, Israel conducted some strikes during the weeks prior to this. So, of course, Israel is not going to want to admit this. So what Israel narrative is like this. For example, the Israeli army has said that its warplane has struck Hezbollah targets and in response to an earlier attack from Lebanon territory. But they didn't say that Hezbollah was able to shut down one of the Israeli drones. And the question that comes after that, it's not if, they did, how was Hezbollah able to shoot down a drone? That means this is not you fire an RPG, because you can't bring it down unless it is close or close proximity. So that means what? That means that Hezbollah might have in its possession some advanced type of systems. Of course, Hezbollah is not going to come over and disclose that, because it will be stupid of them to do so. Like I said in the post for the community, Hezbollah is holding the wild cards. They're not playing their hands right now. For now, they are using the artillery, okay? They are shelling their possessions, and I'm going to describe detail with you and provide you the links in the description later on as to where that information is. First of all, you need to see where this location is, and I'm going to share it with you on map Carta so you can see. Let me share it with you guys. And I did a brief historical snapshot on it, so for you to see. Here is the location here, and usually I can switch between the map and the satellite view for this one here. Let me see here. Here's the satellite. This is the satellite view of it. So this is Tair Harfa. Tair Harfa is in the border, literally on the border with the Israeli part, the borders that is. So this is the regular map here. So what's important about this is the geography of this location. As you may know, in southern Lebanon, there are about 3 main geographical areas. There is a plain, there is a plateau, and there is mountains. So, and seashore in that part extend all the way from, there is an area there called, for those who are familiar with that location, it's called Naqora in the south of Sidon in the north, in addition to other locations close by. So the south in itself, for the southern border of Lebanon, the south is characterized by its rugged terrains. This could explain why Israel didn't want to go in, but I don't think so. And of course, the whole location in the southern Lebanon is strategic. It's strategically located, geographical area that is. So, and this one has some sort of like a triangle borders with Syria and Palestine. That's what makes it very interesting. It has been, in this location, the southern part of Lebanon, it has been the epicenter of decades-long conflicts between Israel and Lebanon. This is why I believe, and this is again my own, let me stop this sharing here of this map here. This is why I believe Israel is very concerned about going into Lebanon this time around. This is not like what they did back in the 80s, or even for the last conflict they had in 2006. No, things have changed, and Hezbollah is well armed. I mentioned to you before, guys, that Hezbollah disclosed that it has in its possession over 150,000 types of missiles. Most of those, I can guarantee this, most of them will be short range, because they don't. Yeah, they might have medium range that Iran will have to put in there just in case. But the majority of it will be short range missiles, because that's where their aim is going to be. So, and this is why I believe Israel is thinking twice now about going in. So why this area has always been the epicenter? Because it witnessed so many conflicts between Israel and Lebanon. And this is why, again, Israel will always have to think twice before going in. So if you look at the history of this, after 17 years, 17 years without confrontations between the parties, because it goes back to 2006. I was aware of it because I used to travel at that time to the Middle East. So southern Lebanon, now after this, it became now the new battlefield. Because here is the reality that it's not disclosed openly, that Hezbollah has been involved since October 8th. You all know, because the operations that Hamas did was on October 7th. Hezbollah was involved since October 8th. And this coincided with what the operation, the Al-Aqsa flood, that is. Very interesting enough is that how it works, the whole dynamics of it. And we don't hear much about it. And like I said, on the southern border, because it's very important to understand those dynamics. I know there are some, what's the word I'm looking for here? Some viewers, I don't think so. There are channel members or supporters. They're saying that I need to stop this talking about history and all that, which to me was puzzling. It was very puzzling to hear something like this from someone saying, oh, you don't need to talk about history. Do you guys, and I'm going to ask you a question, please just answer yes or no. Would you like me to keep doing the history or historical facts about the topics, whatever topic we're talking about? Please just put an answer, yes or no. And because you are part of the community, you have to be part of this conversation. I know those are like distractors, those individuals that put in this nonsense. But I can't hide this from you guys because you are part of this. So I need your input into all this. And I'll go by what the community wants, not what individuals saying. To me, that's kind of, well, you don't like history, then don't listen to this. Simple as that. All right, let me see, where was I? See, this is why I don't like to get distracted with this stuff here. But I have to say it. I can, I'm all about truth. I can't just tell you the good thing. You guys need to know what the type of comments that I read, and I'll share with you because it's to me, it's important. You need to understand this. What the person wrote, stop the history lesson business you have started doing. Once again, if you guys like me to keep doing the history, please put yes. This way, those individuals can read, unless they are mentally challenged. I don't shy away from, I have no sympathy for idiocy. I'll tell you straightforward, guys, and you know where I stand by now. This is where I stand. The community means a lot to me. And I got to make sure your time that you're spending with me here is worth it. Because I'm not here to be chatting with you. I'm here to share information and knowledge that will be of use to you. Simple as that. So, where was I? So, understanding the southern Lebanon part. And the southern Lebanon part, those three sectors, they are what they are known as the blue line. The western sector, which include the Naqoura area, the central sector, which is the most prominent area, of which are there are locations like Maroun al-Ras, Ben Jabil, and the eastern sector, which is considered the most strategically important. This is why Israel will have to think twice now about going into all this. And I do believe Israel's consideration for why it's not going into, because it will be destroyed, basically, because again, time has changed. This is not back in the 80s. Hezbollah is well armed. Iran has provided a massive advanced type of weapons, especially the missiles. This is why you have to understand this particular location. And when you look at also the demographics in this part, the majority of the people in this part are of Arab descent. There are a few of Turkish there, the Persians, and even of European descent in this part. But here is the interesting aspect. And many coastal areas or families are of Moroccan origin. This is where you see that link between the Middle East and North Africa to a degree. So the demographic developments in southern Lebanon, what did they show? Diversity. This is why you have about 17 sects inside Lebanon, each one of them sort of competing for the political dominance and so forth. And of course, you can ignore how much the Shiites, constituting the most numerous components, of course, followed by the Maronites. Then you have the Sunnis, in addition to the Catholics and so forth. And it's very important to understand this dynamics. So historically speaking, and we can't ignore this. Historically speaking, there has been always mentioned about the political era that has followed the region, whose architecture and urban sort of testifies to this reality that they're still visible till today. When you look at certain structures in southern Lebanon, and this starting way back with the Umayyads back in the 11th and the 12th century. That's how far back it goes. Then you move with the Mamluks in the 13th century, and of course the Ottomans starting in the 16th century. So in the Arab era, it was attached to the soldiers of Palestine and remained as in the Crusader era, which you all know the history of the Crusade at the time. So during the Mamluks era, it sometimes followed the state of Safed, and other times the state of Levant. This is why history is important, to understand the changes that took place between 1888 and 1918. And this is where everything started to be affiliated with modern day city of Beirut, which is the capital of Lebanon, which was known in the Arab world at some distance past as the Paris of the Arab world. So this is what's important about all this one here. All right, I just wanted to provide you this brief historical snapshot about it. So now here is about the Israeli, or what Hezbollah has been disclosing. That Hezbollah targeted Israeli military sites, as of 3 days ago. And how did they target those? They target them with what's called Burkan missiles, short range. And there is something else called swooping planes. So at the same time, the Israeli military itself revealed that a military base was severely damaged as a result of fire from the Lebanese side. They didn't say from an attack, from a fire. So you can just see the language here plays a major role, unless you know what you are looking for. It was also reported that, and this one, by the way, the report was inside Lebanon, and I checked on it. This is why I'm making sure. It might take me a few days, guys, before I come on the air, but I have to check on the information. Most of the information I came across and checked was not from here in the United States. So what was reported is that the outskirts of the towns of Yarin Dara and Tyre Harfa, which what I showed you on the map, were also subject to Israeli artillery shelling. So it's on both ends, which means it's fierce, but we don't hear much about it here in the West. So In addition to all this, Hezbollah also used rockets and artillery shells and targeted an Israeli infantry in the Tayhat Triangle, which is the triangle that I talked about, and has achieved, and I put this in quote, direct hits. Now, excuse me, who confirmed this one? It was Al Jazeera. And this is why Israeli was after targeting certain Al Jazeera's journalists. So what the Al Jazeera correspondent revealed was that the sirens were sounded in eastern sector of Israeli border with Lebanon, because that's where most of the shelling from Hezbollah towards the Israeli locations or the infantry or the military was taking place. And he confirmed 4 rockets landed in the vicinity of the settlements in the Khairat Shmona or Khairat Shmona. Arabic word is Khairat Shmona. So that's what it was. In another statement, once again, inside Lebanon, by a Lebanese news agency, it stated that its fighters targeted with appropriate weapon an Israeli infantry force in Karantina Hill near the border post of Hadab Yaron. So, what's key about this? The word appropriate weapons. They didn't say artillery, they didn't say rockets. Appropriate. Now, you may ask the question, what is the reason for this? Well, the reason is they won't want to disclose what type, because they're going to leave it on Israel to whether you want to disclose that or not. Or it could also be just Hezbollah sort of, hey, this is just the beginning. This is the type of weapons we intend to use moving forward. That's why they never disclosed it. And again, this is just my assessment of how I see it. Now, even the Israeli army radio couldn't deny the reality on the facts because they were journalists. Those journalists not from CNN or the BBC, which, by the way, you all know what's going on with the BBC, right? Because the BBC journalists are now sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Even the journalists themselves, those are BBC journalists, are accusing their organizations of bias towards Israel in its coverage on the war in Gaza Strip. So this is why, those journalists are not from CNN, and they're not going to report that. So this is why the information came in from inside. But even now, the Israeli army radio had to confirm that a serious damage was caused to a military base in the north. Once again, as a result of a gunfire from Lebanese side. No, without mentioning the name of the base. No, it wasn't from the Lebanese side. It was on the Israeli side, because Hezbollah was the one that launched the attack on, and as I mentioned earlier, a direct hit. This is what I found very, very important. Equally important, I'm going to ask you a question. Have you heard how many, for example, Israeli vehicles have been destroyed? Can you guys type in a number? Just give me a guess. Just put in a number. How many Israeli vehicles do you think have been destroyed thus far? So, and I'm going to check here on the chat box to see if you put in that in, because it's important to understand all this. And again, it's not been reported, and this is why I was thinking in terms of, you need to understand this reality that is emerging from the southern tip of Lebanon, Lebanon, yeah, on the border with Israel, because here in the Western media is not going to want to disclose how much the Israeli forces have been targeted in southern Lebanon. And this also, to me as an analyst, suggests why Israel will not want to go inside Lebanon, because they are scared, they are concerned. They know what will lie ahead if they ever move forward. This is my opinion, and I could be wrong, and please correct me if I'm wrong, and I welcome your feedback, of course. Oh, Boone, here you are, Boone. Thank you very much, Boone, for your super sticker and your continued support, as always. Truly appreciate it. Yes, keep doing the history and the geography. Thank you very much, Boone. I kind of didn't understand the comment from that individual, so unless it's just some distractor of sort, but because it's you guys. I'll do what you guys want, all of us as a community. It's not about me. And the community's inputs mean a lot to me. And I will challenge anyone else regarding this aspect because your opinion matters to me. That's why I don't shut down those individuals. They're a lot. One of them wrote that I don't like you because you talk too much. What do I say? He's entitled to his opinion, he or she. But it shows me the intellectual handicap this individual suffers from. Like one of our viewers put a comment for him, hey, you need to see a psychiatrist or a counselor. Spot on, spot on. So I intend to keep this history if you guys want it, and that's what we're going to do. Oh, thank you so much, Alan Messine. Thank you so much for your super sticker. Truly appreciate your continued support. I'm aware of all of you guys, of your support means a lot to me. And this is why I can't move forward without saying thank you. It's just not right thing to do. You express thanks and appreciation to people who support. That doesn't mean you alienate the other viewers who might not put a super sticker one. It's not about that. It's about showing gratitude. We're all just passing into this life. Am I taking all this with me? No, I'm not. But at the same time, you can't ignore when people show support, whatever, by not saying thank you. To me, it's just a matter of patience. If those individuals couldn't listen to that, they can just fast forward. Oh, Robo, thank you so much, Robo. I truly appreciate your support. It's the first time I see the name here, so much appreciate you being here and much appreciate your kind support. Thank you so much. Oh, John Jelena, you've been a great supporter, John Jelena. Thank you so much. John Jelia has been with me here on this channel and the other two channels, the big channel and the health channel. So thank you so much for your continued support. Truly appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you on Monday night for the conversation. So, all right, let me see your answer, guys. Here about 200. David K. You say Jack Rabbit 400. You guys in the ballpark. Here is what I found. It was about, and I'm going to share it with you as is. The spokesperson for, and this is a quote, and I will provide you the link. Abu Ubaidah, the spokesperson for Azz-ad-Din al-Qassam Brigade, which is the military wing of the Hamas, announced the destruction of 335 Israeli vehicles since the start of the war, including 33 during the last 72 hours. Which means what? Stressing that the occupation government was forced to accept the truce and sent several messages inside and outside. End of quote. What do you guys think? Was this individual spot on? I think so, because all of a sudden truce is being reached. Why wasn't it reached a week after the beginning of the conflict? Because this is where our topic of today about southern Lebanon comes into the conversation. Because if Israel didn't realize now that it's being bombarded from different directions, they won't move forward. And by the way, I am working on a story for you about Algeria now declaring war on Israel. Again, it's not reported here, but I am waiting to confirm. And once I confirm, I'm going to do. I did see images because I was, in my last trip, I was in that part of the world. Usually I don't disclose where I go. You all know why. I was in that part of the world. And it was a parliament session by which a vote took place inside the parliament. Declaration of war on Israel. So now you have two. You have Israel and you have the Houthis, Ansarullah, as is known inside Yemen. Yeah. Then you have a third element, and the third element is the Saudi Arabia that now intend to move forward with what it described as a sanctions of sort. I'm yet to see in the case of Saudi Arabia. I don't want to jump to conclusions right away. No. So this is what I want you guys to understand. So the other thing I need to bring to your attention, part of where those attacks took place, and again, it's not here in the Western media, not in London, not in Paris, not in Frankfurt, not in not in Washington, of course, because we are a mess here in Washington because we found ourselves deep into this conflict and taking part of the atrocities that is committed against defenseless civilians. I distinguish between, as a former military myself, I had a rule. Elderly, children, women can't. You have to deal with military targets. War conflicts are nasty business. This is why we're sick of this conflict. And when I say we, I'm referring to us Americans. I'm sure the rest of the world share the same opinion. We're tired of this, man. Live and let live. Live and let live. Life is too short. We're just passing through. So anyway, but here is what has been announced again by Hezbollah, that it targeted the barracks in Biranit. So those are Israeli, belong to the 91st division, if I'm not mistaken, because I remember reading about it. So they targeted that. And this 91st division, it's one of the command center. It's been targeted also. And how was it targeted? By 4 high-caliber volcano rockets in 2 patches, meaning two launches. And also, they targeted the Zabdin barracks, which is in the occupied Lebanese Shabra farms. It's still under the occupation of Israel, or under the occupation of Israel. In this Shabra farms, it contains about 14 farms, based on my knowledge. Because remember, guys, I spent time in that part of the world. You kind of learn where everything is back in the day when I was still traveling and so forth. So when I was still working in the government. So, but some of these locations in the Shabra farms, some of them, not all, some of them still under Israel control, and that's the ones that were targeted. So now, I mentioned earlier to you that there was some swooping plans. The swooping plans is the idea of within the context, and this was reported by, there is a TV station inside Lebanon known as Al-Manar. Well, Manar is Hezbollah's TV. The swooping drones were launched from southern Lebanon towards the sites in northern occupied Palestine. So that's what they refer to swooping planes. Those are the key information that I need you to know about why the fight is intensifying, but it's not being reported on, because we all know how the Western media is biased. Let's just say it straightforward. And it's nothing new, guys. You all know this one here. And this is why I've said on many occasions that Hezbollah has been involved since October 8th. Not just yesterday or a week before. It's been involved ever since. So, and just FYI, guys, for you to know, we are now at the 45th consecutive day, and still major devastation in Gaza that left so far 13,000 Palestinians dead, including more than 5,000 children and 3,500 women, as well as 30,000 injured. So war is ugly. Conflicts are ugly, but when you have certain parts that we are contributing to, especially for my country that is taking part of that. That's very problematic. Here is a map that I found here, guys, but it's written in Arabic. This is the Naqora. This is the region I was talking about. It's right here. All these locations here. This is the Mediterranean Sea. This is Israel. This is Syria, and this is Lebanon right here at the top. So that's the one I wanted to share with you. And it's very important to understand this dynamics, because without having sort of access to information like this is why I'm doing all this for. You will be only hearing one side of the arguments from the mainstream media that is being tailored towards specifically sharing with you what they want you to hear, because they don't want you to know the truth about it. So and this is why it's important for you to understand. So, and of course, this region, the South Lebanon, as I said, that turned now into a battlefield. It's not new. That's been going on for quite a while. To my record that I looked into some database, historical database, and find out that there were about 140 incidents of aggression between 1949 and 1964. That's from Israel towards that part. So from 1967, if I'm not mistaken, to 1976, the Israel occupation has carried out about 1,434 violation of airspace, 1,818 artillery shelling, 120 aerial bombardments, 266 incursions into territorial waters, 388 entered the southern territories and built 24 roads and 453 possessions in the interior of the country. And this one, by the way, was according to statistics from the Arab Information Center in Beirut. And I will provide you the link for all this. There was another issue that I need to bring to your attention. Also, why these tensions, beside what's going on right now, there is another reason also, and it has to do with access to or control over water. I was aware of a report that was back in 2013, if I'm not mistaken, and some forward analysis was sort of conducted regarding that, how water, especially in that part of the Middle East, will become a security concern for all parties involved. And I think this is why it reflects the seizure of the southern part of Lebanon from Israeli perspective, is to secure access to quantities of water Israel will need. This is why I believe also that tension, it has to sort of, water is also plays a role into this one here. So and we can't ignore that one. So. All right, guys, that's what I wanted to share this with you today. I'm going to keep it brief here, to the point. Be on the lookout. By the way, remember, once again, for the members and supporters, to join me tomorrow, unless you want to become a channel supporters or a member. I will greatly appreciate your support, but thank you all for just last time I mentioned that there were 10 of you guys became a member. So thank you so much for your support. And once again, to those who bought me coffee, I say thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I truly appreciate it. So remember for tomorrow, but remember also, I will be doing a live stream about the recent agreement between Saudi Arabia and China regarding swap of the currency. It's major, guys. It is major. We are not giving it any coverage here in the West because we are concerned, because we all know what it means. You all know where this is headed, right? That is why when it came under my radar, I decided I'm going to do this live for you. I already did a video. My editor is working on it. We'll release it soon. but also because I wrote the book about Saudis and I put the relationship between Saudi Arabia and China. And I targeted, or I addressed rather, this particular point. So I will intend to do this. I am working on 2 more stories for you. One of them has to do with Algeria declaring the war on Israel. And second one has to do with the election of Javier Milei, the psychopath in Argentina. Yeah, I call him psychopath if you only know what I'm referring to here. If you only see some images of that emerged as far as his behavior. That's the reason I'm saying this. So let me see. Let me see some of your. Oh yeah, I just see your answer, guys, for how many vehicles. Some of you put 180, 220, 500, 350. Oh, Jawad, Khurshid, you were up to almost on a target, man. On the target. Hussein, 60, 200 from Atmosphere. So yeah, you guys got the idea, and that's exactly what it was. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It's and we're not hearing from it, and that's again what prompted me to do this for you, because you need to hear. You reach your own conclusion. All I'm doing, guys, I am sharing the facts with you. Whenever, and I said this before, and I will repeat it, whenever reach a conclusion for you. All I'm doing is sharing my analysis with you, sharing my input about giving my professional academic backgrounds. And again, I've been on the ground, boots on the ground in that part of the world. I understand its culture. I speak the language and so forth. But that doesn't mean I reach a conclusion for you. I'll provide you the facts and you can reach out. Oh, Abel Malcolm, you are right. The Arabic nations are quiet. You're absolutely correct, because it's there is a lot of dynamics going on, especially if you look at it from the perspective of monarchies. Monarchies, because they're concerned about the survival of the monarchy. This is why you get like a Jordan and Saudi Arabia. They will be more concerned about the survival of the monarchy than about the Palestinian cause. Morocco to a degree, but Morocco also is involved deep down into its recognition of Israel and so forth. And now things might be coming back, backfiring on the Moroccan government. But again, how much the king in that country knows, I don't know. Whether they're sharing the truth with him or not, I don't know. So, but for the Arab countries, yeah, they all talks, because you look at now Algeria, if it's confirmed, once again, big if it's confirmed, that changed the dynamics, because even in Africa now is split between those who are in support and those who are against. I take one country in particular, Kenya. Kenya showed no backbone right now because it's back in Israel. And again, it's their country. They can decide whatever. So that's just how it goes. It's just how it goes. And to me, it's the idea for why I choose certain topics. And I know not all the topics are, as one of our viewers put it, I watch your videos, but even though I don't like some topics, I am very grateful that he's being honest. To me, that says a lot about the person's character. Truth matters. The fact that he wrote it down, that, yeah, I don't like some of your topics, but at the same time, I bring some topics for a reason. I don't do random, and I don't do silly stuff, as you may know. My personality is not for that. I bring topics that will make more sense for you to form that big picture about really what's going on, because I know how biased the Western media is, and the politicians and all the like. So, and this is why you look at now in Europe, what just took place in Holland. Hey, local, you can tell. Further, just won the elections now with majority. He's a far right. Same outcome happened in Argentina, and makes you just wonder where things are headed. Is it by design? You'll reach that conclusion. History. I couldn't agree with you more. Joe Cho, the prefix is geo. How can you understand policies and strategies without history and geography? You're absolutely correct. After all, that's what geopolitics is all about. Geopolitics is part of it. It has to do with geography also. Oh, Shaukat Khan, thank you so much for your super sticker. Truly appreciate it. Truly appreciate it. And this is why I don't get it. Those people that's like, oh, you don't need to say too many thanks. You don't need to. No, I will. I will. It's important. Yeah. Monicare, thank you so much for your super sticker. You wrote, please consider thanking your supporters at the end. Can you make it in Q&A? It ruins the quality of the show when you do it in the middle of your message, which is the most important thing. I welcome your feedback. I'll be happy to try it. We'll try it towards the next video. I'll do live stream. We'll do the thanks at the end. Well, I'm open to your suggestions, guys. I will not waver from not expressing my thanks. I don't bluff either. So thank you so much and appreciate your input. And I will. All right, let me take a question or two, guys, from you. If you will be kind, just put Q so I know it is. Here is another thanks, another super sticker from Born Fame. Thank you so much for your super sticker. Truly appreciate it. Yeah, let's take a question or two, guys. So I'm gonna go to the top all the way and do that. So an FYI, once again, just to remind you, tomorrow I will be doing the Q&A for channel members and supporters. So if you're interested to join us tomorrow, become a channel supporters member, and please prepare your questions for tomorrow. So this way, because that's what I'm doing, I'm answering your questions. I'm not addressing any topics. In addition to, I'm going to share the surprise that some of you have missed from last time we did the exclusive Q&A. All right, let me see if any questions. Oh, I did see one question here. Here's a question from ceasefire indicative of a failed on the ground in Gaza, northern Israel. I think so. I think so, because all of a sudden the ceasefire all of a sudden happened. Why didn't it happen a week after? Unless Israel realized that, and this is not about convincing Israel, but no. They are realizing they're losing. They're losing both on the ground and the public support. Yeah, it's around the world. Some are waking up to that reality. So you're absolutely correct in that one. That the U.S. Abel, you wrote in the project for the American century before 9/11 happened, they predicted that the U.S. will invade Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Iran. Is Iran next on the chopping block? No. But the first part of your question is right. I was aware of that report at that time. It was classified, made its way. Sort of, we were thinking the same at that time about about Russia regarding Ukraine. It was the same argument, but for the Middle East, yes, it was. But it's too late for Iran. This is why I always say Israel and the U.S. could not attack Iran, and they will not attack Iran because they can't. They know what the outcome is going to be. Iran is no different. It's very different from what it used to be 30 years ago, militarily. And if you think we can take an aircraft carrier near the Strait of Hormuz, we'll be mistaken. First of all, it's the aircraft will not get that close anyway. Yes, you can send some frigates and some destroyers and so forth, but no, it's not on chopping blocks. And yes, you were right about Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon. But in Lebanon, usually we won't do it. The Israelis does it for us. Because remember, Israeli, as one of our viewers puts it, it's the large American base in the Middle East. Because what Israel without the U.S. doesn't, I mean, they're surviving on our tax dollars that we've been giving them since 1948. And I found some info about how much they have so far received, over 36, don't quote me on this, $36 billion. But that's just on the conservative side. The numbers might be, most of it goes to the military. So, no, the short answer to the last part of the question is no, it won't happen. As I argued in my Iran book, that it's too late for that. And that's the same arguments can be made about China. It's too late for the U.S. to contain China. This containment policy won't work for China. It won't work. It's too late for that. It is too late. Yeah, Atin Wu, you wrote, yes, please. Knowing history is very important. Please help us with that, and I intend to do that. Thank you very much, Atin Wu. All right, let me see another question here. Mm, yeah, yeah. Thank you, David K. I forgot that. Please hit the like button. We really appreciate it. It's and I don't know why, guys. We have like many views on the video, but the likes is not. I don't know. Is YouTube doing this? I don't understand that, so I can't claim that's what it is. So if anybody knows anything about this aspect, please let me know so I can understand and learn, because I don't understand. And I'm sure you guys do hit the like button, but it doesn't show. And that's, you know how the algorithm work, because that's the way to send the videos to many viewers. So, and that's how. All right, here is one from Francis Tango. Question, Dr. O. It is because of the English government that the Middle East is such a chaos after World War One. I have to agree with that. Because the British didn't understand the demographics, the structure of the social setting within the Middle East. This is why Middle East will always be a volatile state, not because of just the tensions, religious, but also the social makeup, the demographics of it. You get so many facets to the Middle East. And when the British at that time were carving out the Middle East, they just didn't take that into consideration. You know, I don't know who was advising them at that time. You all remember the Sykes-Picot agreements that carved out. You will think they will take into consideration, but they didn't. And yes, we have been witnessing now the outcome of that ill-conceived policy that the British government has embarked on. British government is gone. You know, UK, as you and I used to know, is gone, is irrelevant now. UK, here is the story that I know about as one who worked inside, and we used to work with London on close proximity on many issues. UK will not move an inch regarding global affair issues without getting the green light from the US. That's the bottom line to it. Despite what you hear, no matter what you hear, this is what the whole issue. I've read some comments from some of you that Sunak, the prime minister, the incompetent Sunak father-in-law, he's involved with the BP. That's why Israel is dealing with the Gaza regarding the gas and oil. So there is always the back door. So Sunak is not qualified for that position to begin with. So UK is irrelevant. So it just no. But again, it's their country. The people have to decide on that themselves. All right, I'm looking at one more question here before I sign off, guys. And if I don't see it, and I look forward to seeing again. Just a reminder for the channel members and supporters tomorrow for the exclusive Q&A, and I will meet with you guys on a Monday for the live stream. Okay, yeah, it's hard to see so many here. Oh, Ravi, thank you so much for your super sticker. And you wrote, thank you for your analysis. You are most welcome. We're here to learn, man. We're here to learn from each other. I'm learning from you as well. Thank you so much for your super sticker. I do see something here. Someone wrote, question here. Question from Army with Harmony. What will it cost to take your class at a university? I don't know, because that's university that sets that stuff. I don't get involved in. I do the course for our big channel privately. I don't go with university stuff. You know, the universities, most of them are for monetary gain anyway. That's they charge their own fees. I don't know what it is. I am thinking of doing course on this channel, guys. It will be like a minimum fee of $40, $50 maybe. I haven't decided yet, because I got to figure out the medium by which to do the course, which will be one set, one time. And if I decide on that, I'll let you guys know. Okay, Ravi. KL, I want to say thank you for your super sticker, as always. I'm just looking for another question, guys, here. And yeah, we're gonna try this next time when I do the live stream. I'll keep all the thanks towards the end, and I'll do the questions towards the end. So this way, we see if that format works, because it's hard, as you guys know, it's hard to please everybody, and I can't do that because that. But I will not shy away from stopping saying my thanks to all of you. So guys, I thank you very much for being here. Truly appreciate it. Quick question here from Joy Cho. Did BRICS hold a joint meeting on Gaza already? It said Modi has or will skip the meeting. Yes, I did hear about that. Well, we all know where India stands. This is why I was never a fan of India being part of a BRICS, even though it was some sort of a founding members. But India does not have its ducks in a row to be a player at that club at this time. So like I always say, and I still stand by my conviction regarding this, that India is the weak link inside BRICS, but BRICS cannot just kick India out, because the protocol, how maybe if India realize that it's not in sync with the group, maybe they can excuse themselves, which to me, that's the right thing to do. Now, will India do the right thing? I don't know. I'll let you guys decide on that. So yeah, India is the weak link, and I am even wondering now what's going to be happening hypothetically with the movement. Not hypothetically, when the decision comes forward to put gold as the currency to use within BRICS. How will India react to that? So they already said they are not going to support the BRICS currency. Well, if you don't want to support it, why don't you just get out? Simple as that. That's like what I always say to some who put some nasty comments here. If you don't like this, then don't watch it. Get out. Simple as that. So it's it's hard to tell. Modi is wishy-washy. We all know this. His policies have been a disaster since he came on board 7 years ago or so. I was never not a fan, but I was never thinking highly of Modi, because he never acquired the depth of what geopolitics is all about, what international relations, global affairs are all about, because it goes beyond just nationalism. That's, to me, that's not how you lead a country, and this is where India is where it is, or this is why India is where it is. So, all right, guys, I thank you very much for being here. I look forward to seeing you soon, and as always, remember, geopolitics impact your daily life in more ways than one. Till next time, bye-bye.